Greetings. I return for yet more madness. For today, we are on the path of Achra, and arguably one of the most unique, if not unusual, games I've played in recent days. And I want to give a shout out to Seth Ztench, the YouTuber, for introducing me to this unique game. Now, this is. How do I explain this? This game could best be described as. I guess you'd call it what it is. It's a roguelite game of insanity. Just absolute madness. Now, what is it that makes this work? Well, notice that each of these is a character to themselves. Like the ape, which naturally resists physical damage and has no armor, or the goblin, who gets sacrifice power-ups whenever he sacrifices weapons or equipment. Each of these is a class. So, I am Gakwal the Goblin Apostle, or I could be a Bakadar, I could be an Abadi, I could be the Zealot, I could be the Warrior, I could be the Reaver. And then I pick a god. And in this case, I pick the Worm. Why? Well, because with the Worm, many crazy things are possible. I will attempt to demonstrate. Or die immediately because I don't know what I'm doing yet. But we will see. But basically, it's a very simple game. I mean, seriously, look at this shit. Looks like it was made in BASIC on an old Atari 2E. But what makes it unique is that with the right abilities, like, for example, let's say I do... Where's Life Chant? Life Chant, okay. Let's say I take a skill for Life Chant. Then I take a skill in... Then I take a skill to something like Poison. But now every time I make a move, every time I do anything, these guys are getting permanently acidified constantly. And now the effect is repeated, because now every time I make a move, I gain experience, and I gain points towards whatever I'm doing. So now every time I take a step, something dies. And it amplifies and amplifies and amplifies. And it's really, the game's all about building chaos. But now, I'm in a situation where I'm outnumbered and outflanked. And I'm about to die. Watch. Oh, and see? I didn't die because one of my prayers was fully charged. And that prayer being fully charged means I instantaneously come back to life, fully restored, and now I just have to somehow survive these things. And so long as I'm doing damage to my adversaries, they essentially, regenerate my health. And if I do take enough fatal damage, I regenerate back to full health, but I lose a prayer slot. Now, I have gained an item. Is that item worth my time? No, it is not. So, yeah, it's not even worth the effort here. So, now I must choose a path. And I'm in the desert. And as you notice, my Tsuchigumo, my poison toxin spider, is now fighting my battle for me. And this is the thing, you find synergy. You must find the synergies. That is the trick. That is the key. That is the absolute master of this game. The synergy is all. The synergy is life. So a goblin who gains life and strength constantly by sacrificing gold and other items he acquires is a very effective synergy for this, because that life means he's constantly healing, constantly regenerating, constantly getting better. Rat banner. Now I pick up the various items, weapons, and equipment, and I choose what I'm going to equip. So right now on my head I have the green crown, resist poison. Does this do anything better? No, it does not. So I choose to sacrifice these items that do not give me any advantage. For example, this one compared to my current weapon. Current weapon's a basic weapon, two-handed slasher. But this one will summon a enemy to fight at my side. So I sacrifice the rest of this junk. And the only thing I think I'll be keeping is the scimitar for now, because it might be useful later in an off. Yeah, see. Yeah, so you do put this in my offhand, and now I've got the rat banner, and I have backup. But now I also have nah, I've done the green tower, don't need to. Let's go for the purple. Let's see, now between the Tsuchigumo and my rat minion, I just start tearing through them. And like, you can literally just hold space and let them fight your battle for you, and they'll do it. They'll absolutely do it. You don't gotta do jack squat. Ooh, that could be useful later. Alright, and we will continue to take this, because speed is not relevant to this build. See? And now, I don't have to do jack squat, because with this build, I literally can stand still and kill everything in the screen, because the worm, on step, enemy attack, if my prayer is not fully charged, I get corroded and take massive damage to myself. I also heal myself. self depending upon the corrosion I take. So essentially, I regenerate constantly as long as I'm damaging my enemies and corroding them. If I am not damaging my enemies, it damages me instead. But with my life chant, it doesn't matter here. So let's take a look at what we got. What is this? Ooh, that could be weird. That could be handy. Poison damage for poison damage? You betcha. And shrug off. I'll wear that as armor. Lightning Staff is meaningless to this build. Scimitar is now meaningless to this build. I have very little encumbrance. My inflexibility is minimal. My weapon size is optimal. And I'm going to continue on this path because I want the purple tower. Okay. So my rats will go out and do the job for me. And now the corrosion magic is ripping everything in the area to pieces, and I just sit here and wait for everything to die. Now the Tsushigumo's out, and he finishes off the job. One thing about this build, I am beaten by a narrow corridor. Ooh, Amazonian? Amazonian. Like I said, literally have to do 0 to kill them. So, if I wanted to, I could take another point in life chant, and that would negate the damage. And we begin. I can literally sit here and let everything else kill everything else for me. I am more or less pretty much immortal at this juncture because I'm healing so much damage that there is literally nothing they can do to stop me. So, does any of that do me any good? It does not. It double does not, because this... Yeah, see, 25 max life plus speed. So essentially, with this ability, I am essentially immortal. Like, I literally take more damage from myself than I do from any of my enemies. Watch. Literally let my minions kill everything for me, and I just sit here and soak it. Because I am effectively unbreakable now. At this first level. And while my spider minion and my rat minion rush out to murder everything in my path, I just sit still and wait for them to die. And next. So, now that I'm making speed upgrades with every time I do sacrifices, I'm going to start adding willpower to my listing to increase my healing. Oh, they killed my Tsuchigumo. I do not approve. But just like that, he's back. Oh, Twisted Flame. I got news for you. Your Twisted Flame ain't gonna help you against this. They're gonna do more damage to themselves than they are to me. Done. Here's the thing. As I gain points for spells, I can add new abilities. Like this one, which adds a new effect to my minions. And now my minions do fire and poison damage to everything that moves. And next, the Akuma beats a stench. Yeah. Doesn't matter, because watch my minions murder everything. Through the fire, through the flames, through the poison and the pain. Let them all burn and melt away. While I sit here completely unaffected. Oh, see, now they're starting to break through, but now I'm doing damage again, and I'm healed. Healed. See? Finally something beat my system. But that's the whole thing about Path of Achra, is finding a combined system that works really good for this combo. He's good, but I think he'd be better off as like a strength damage character. But anyway, Path of Achra. Yeah, see, Path of Achra is a game where you have to learn how to combo your powers to those of your enemies. And essentially, like, if you get a fast enough build going, which I admittedly, I didn't take the right combos on that one, but I've done that before with certain other characters, he will literally bulldoze his way through everything in its path. So, definitely worth checking out. I highly recommend it if you're a roguelite fan. It's essentially the most insane roguelite ever made, even if it does look like it was programmed on a T82 calculator. Still, so much fun. Anyway, I just wanted to do a short little vid about this. Seth really turned me on to something unique with this one. But I'll see you guys next time. This is Solo Gamer. You can call me Matt, and I will see you then. Bye!